All-Time 100 Greatest Toys Season 1. Season 1 1920s.
Number 1. Radio Flyer Wagon. A 16-year-old Italian boy named Antonio Payson was one of the millions who immigrated to America from Europe at the start of the 20th century. A skilled carpenter, Payson headed to Chicago and began building little red wagons out of stamped metal. By 1923, he had saved enough money to create the Liberty Coaster Company, and he began mass-producing the wagon for just under $3. He named it the Radio Flyer in homage to two of his favorite inventions of the time, the radio and the airplane. Number 2. Chemistry Set. A pioneer in educational toys, the A.C. Gilbert Company released its chemistry set in 1923. Marketed solely to boys, the kit was designed to teach basic chemistry skills, but by today's standards, it was nothing short of a Homeland Security breach. Experiment number 1, explosives. Still, it received the highly regarded Good Housekeeping seal of approval, and Gilbert went on to sell millions of sets over the next 30 years. Eventually, even girls were acknowledged by the manufacturers, but only as aspiring assistants. Gilbert's Lab Technician set for girls was released in the 1950s, cloaked in reassuring pink hues. It would be another 10 years until the gender barrier in kiddie chemistry was brought down and boys and girls were finally allowed to play scientists together. Number 3. Joy Buzzer. Beloved by pranksters worldwide, the Joy Buzzer has been delivering unexpected zaps to its victims since 1928. The device was created by Danish inventor Søren Sørensen Adams, who founded the SS Adams Company, the premier novelty producer of the 20th century. After dreaming up his first gag concoction, Kachoo Sneeze Powder, in 1906, Sorensen went on to create prank product staples like the Raspberry Cushion, the Snake Nutkin and the Exploding Cigar. Officially patented in 1932, the buzzer doesn't actually deliver an electric current, but rather a loud vibrating noise, just enough to shock the unsuspecting. Number 4. Yo-Yo. Though its history can be traced back to nearly 500 BC, the yo-yo didn't find mainstream success until the late 1920s, when a young U.S. immigrant named Pedro Flores ignited an international craze. Born in the Philippines, Flores saw the toy's potential in the U.S. after remembering its Filipino popularity. It had received the name yo-yo there hundreds of years before. While working as a bellboy, Flores founded the Yo-Yo Manufacturing Company in 1928. After selling handmade yo-yos to children around Los Angeles, he was able to secure financing to open a factory. Within a year, the company was producing 300,000 yo-yos a day, and Flores' Wonder Toy achieved craze status in the U.S., with yo-yo contests popping up all over the country. Number 5. PopUp Book. Initially called movables, the first PopUp books actually predate most print texts. They first appeared in the 14th century, when a Catalan mystic began using revolving discs to illustrate his philosophical theories. Pop-up books were not created for young audiences until the early 19th century, when lift-the-flap techniques were introduced in children's books. It wasn't until 1929 that readers were introduced to pop-ups as we know them today. Published by Louis Giroux and Theodore Brown, the Daily Express Children's Annual No. 1 was the first in a series of pop-up books that featured illustrations that leaped off the page, starting one of the longest-lasting literary gimmicks in history.